All right, so let's get started. It's 1 minute past. All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. And we're just kind of preparing our mind. Well, for those of us on the West Coast, we probably still have a little bit of evening left, but for those of you on the East Coast and in Santa Fe, it's probably moving towards settling into bed. So this is a really excellent time to do this practice, to settle the mind down and to think about purifying any negative actions that we may have accumulated during the day. So check your feet and make sure if there's maybe a little cushion under your feet if they're down. If you can raise your sit bones by putting a cushion under there, just slightly. Doesn't have to be a big cushion. And if your knees are in any pain, you can put cushions underneath your knees if you have issues with flexibility. Hands are in the meditation mudra. You can imagine your spine is made of a string of pearls of light, stretching from your coccyx all the way up through the top of the crown of your head. And perhaps somebody is there just very gently lengthening your spine. Just align your shoulders over your hips and your chin over your shoulders. And what we're really meaning there is by not having your head just poking too far forward. The head is extremely heavy, and if it's not correctly aligned, you can have some neck issues. Head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw. And relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, and the nose and the cheeks, and the mouth, the area around the mouth. And just bring your awareness to the back of the head. Relax the scalp and the neck. Oh, I forgot the ears. Just relax your ears. And move to the neck and the shoulders. And your back as much as you can. Relax your throat, chest, belly, arms, hands, fingers, legs, feet, and toes. Let's bring the mind to the breath. Just very gently breathing in. Noticing the sensation of cool air as you're breathing in across the nostrils. And then breathing out as you notice slightly warmer air. And we're just doing this meditation this evening. Just to remind ourselves there's no negativity that cannot be purified. And we're purifying our own kind of bits and pieces so we don't create any more suffering for ourselves. We're doing it so we can purify, remove obstacles as we move towards our own enlightenment. And on the way, we're touching the light in our heart, trying to bring that to the forefront of our lives so we can be a benefit to others. So just remember, again, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process that we're doing is basically a psychological process. As LAMA YESHE would say, we create negativity with our mind. So we're going to counteract that by creating positivity, planting some positive seeds in our mind. So the first of the 4 opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being today. maybe in this life, perhaps in our past lives. Perhaps think of a specific action of your body, your speech. Did something happen today, yesterday? And just to remind ourselves, the reason we're regretting is based on the logic of karma. LAMA YESHE says that, in fact, this sincere regret, which is not the same as guilt, sincere regret goes a long way towards a purification. So you can think of this, the process of regret is also very much a purification practice. So we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we're going to necessarily experience some form of suffering. And we already know from our own experience of suffering that we don't really need any more. So the logic, therefore, is to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering. And so think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech. If any of us have vows, having broken my vows or let them degenerate, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm really sick of suffering. So also regret any anger and attachment that are the cause of why we harm others. And think, I'm sick of this suffering. Then we think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So the first, this is broken up into two little sections. The first of these is refuge. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So it's not that we need Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. And so visualize Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can imagine that this being is actually the mind of your Lama, your teacher, your guru, if you have one, manifesting in this particular form for your benefit. So he's made of this blissful, radiant white light, seated in a cross-legged position on a lotus. He has this beautiful, youthful, radiant face in lotus-like eyes, peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and for all sentient beings around. No judgmental thoughts towards you, just accepts you exactly as you are. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. So I'll just say a little prayer of refuge here. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this next section is about compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So I think particularly of people that you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you. And we have compassion for them because they are going to suffer for the harm that they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration. We do this practice. We must purify for their sake. So next is the power of the remedy, and this is actual medicine, the actual doing of the practice of purification, apart from the regret I mentioned earlier. So first is a purification of the body. And so Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, and it's like coming very strongly from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And so this nectar keeps flowing into you, and it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sidam Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there is no way you could do anything but be of benefit to others now with your body. Just think how amazing. Someone sees you walking down the street and you bring happiness to their mind, benefit to their mind. Next is the purification of the speech. And just visualize, just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very happily sending powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and kind of quite strongly enters your crown, filling your entire body. And this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and it overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip, the harsh speech, the useless speech, the lying, talking about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yasa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zadva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zadva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than be of benefit to sentient beings with your speech. So the minute they hear your voice, it brings happiness to the mind, relaxes the mind, benefits them. It would be extraordinary to have that much power. So the next is the purification of the mind. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful beams of light, very strong light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown chakra and fills your entire being. And just as LAMA YESHE says, when you walk into a room and switch on a light, the darkness is instantly dispelled by that light. So just in the same way, as soon as the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled. So all the attachment, the neediness, the anger, violence and depression, bitterness, grudges, wishing to harm, all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi me pe yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutsa vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe hum vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dina me bawa sutokaya me bawa sapokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa sidi me pe yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the final mantra count is for the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time you can imagine that Guru Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. Or if you are feeling, if your mind has enough space, I could invite you to perhaps try visualizing this previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech, and mind, either one after the other or at the same time. It's quite busy. So you could just think about light and nectar just pouring into you from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, and it fills you completely. And just imagine that it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So to recite the mantra, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mibiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve. And this is a really crucial step, is this determination not to harm with our body and our speech and our mind again. So without this kind of decision that we make, without this determination, we're going to keep doing the same old things, following the same old paths, same old negative patterns. So, as Lama Rinpoche says, everything exists on the tip of the wish. So one of the things that we could do is think about something we'd like to work on. So perhaps we have issues with our speech. Perhaps we have negative self-talk. Maybe there's many things that we do, many habits that we know about. We know what they are. They harm others. Maybe they harm ourselves. So maybe just think, do something tonight for maybe 30 seconds, 5 minutes from the time you go to bed to the time you wake up. Maybe just make a decision. I will refrain from this thing that I do that harms me and harms others. And you'll just build some kind of muscle around that. You'll be able to refrain more and more frequently. And the negative pathways in the neurons in the brain will atrophy, and new, more positive pathways will grow. And according to Western psychology, it's actually a physical thing, neurological pathways. And when we don't use them, they atrophy. When we do use them, they build strength. So we think about developing and growing and strengthening the positive neural pathways in our brain, using our mind, our psychology. So then this determination not to do again is what gives us the strength to change. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to emerge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, my own body, speech and mind, the same thing. Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next, as Lama Rinpoche recommends, we meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty, that do not exist from their own side. And think of things as being dependent arisings. This depends on that in order for this to happen. Or you can think of things perhaps not necessarily existing the way we think they do. This could be based on the way our body is structured, our height, our education. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening by doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers, honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe-la, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please have a long and stable life. Thank you so much, everyone. And is Soy Sauce asleep? No. He's very perky this evening. All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you so very much. Lots of love and look forward to seeing you on Friday, some of you. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Be well.